Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mellina Mallah, and I am your host, and this is The Becoming. I hope you're having an amazing day, and you're feeling good today, because I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I am really excited for my art fair that's coming up next weekend, so this time next week, I will be presenting my... Before I even get into this, I just want to say that I didn't even know what a zine was 3 months ago. And I saw this art fair, and I had been producing this body of work called Unmute, and Unmute is something built off of 5-year archival journals. It's something, I think I'm getting a little ahead of myself. It's a project that I put my heart and soul into, and it is my body of work. As an artist, I've created this world of Unmute, and I'm really excited to share it. I want someone to feel connected when they look through this scene. I want them to know that they are not alone in their experiences, and maybe these are things they weren't able to articulate or even understand within themselves. Hopefully this gives access to healing and living in the unknown, and every day choosing to show up for yourself, not self-abandon, to stay in the discomfort, because life is not going to be comfortable. And when you are too comfortable, you get stagnant, and that's when you get stuck. And in those moments, maybe we need to reframe what that means when we feel stuck or in the dark. It's a point of being planted in this dark place to bloom and use all that you have within you to get you out of that dark place. Your belief system, your values, your spirituality, all of that within you, all your intuition coming out, helping you create in this dark space, make sense of what is going on inside, connect deeper. When you are in that feeling of depression, feeling of stuckness, when you get out of that dark place and you see and you're aware of all that has manifested just from you continuously showing up in that dark place, you show yourself that you can do anything, that you trust yourself to make it happen. And one day you'll open your eyes and look at where you are, be fully present for what you've created, for what manifested, for what happened in that time. Like, I look around my apartment right now, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at a light setup with my podcast setup that I do every morning, that I post once a week. And now we're on episode 18, and I'm so excited for this journey because it's shown me how I can show up consistently doing the things I want to do, which is spread words and messages about mental health and inner child healing, and the importance of what it means to be connected to yourself, to achieve your goals and live your dream reality. Because every day you're creating that reality. I look around my apartment right now, I see a 36 by 48 canvas commissioned art painting that I did. I am not trained in art. I'm an artist who just wanted to play and wanted to feel everything. I've always been someone who felt deeply, and I always thought that was an issue. I'm looking at my painting, and when I first did it, I was like, okay, this is probably gonna take me, I don't know, 6 days at least. It's huge. I was so intimidated by the size, but now when I look at what I've created and expressed of myself onto this canvas, it makes me so happy. From the left side, you kind of see my inner child come out and that play, and then on the right, you see more controlled and the communication between me and my inner child on this canvas, as well as just letting go and letting what wants to come out. There's beautiful texture, depth. My first few strokes were blue, a royal blue, and I knew I wanted to create this painting from a state of joy and joyful emotion, and what that would feel like when you look at a painting. You can see that I was very free in my movements and my strokes, and it makes me so happy to see that I've achieved that within myself, that equilibrium, and being able to rely on my inner child and also have my older, higher self leading the way while my inner child gets to play. It's really a beautiful thing acceptance of yourself as you are a whole person. You have your inner child and you have your higher self, and these are guiding you. You're never alone in this life. You are not put here to suffer, and we forget that when we are in these dark, hard places. But when we can surface from the depths and have our rebirth, we spread our wings and fly, soar. When we're leaping into the unknown, this is who we become. We inhabit our full self in the process because we say each part of us is allowed to come along the journey. In order to access who you could be and who you're meant to be, there is discomfort that comes with that. There's discomfort in being seen, putting yourself out there, trying something new, going alone. There is discomfort because it's unknown. Fear is always going to be there. That's your inner child, and that's when you need to remember to give them words of affirmation. Tell them, that's okay, you're feeling that. Okay. It's hard, I know, I got you. And just keep repeating these affirmations to yourself in uncomfortable moments where you need to use a little more patience, and that builds over time. That's not going to happen in one shot, that's not going to happen in a day. So the compassion that's built along in the process of becoming your whole self is this acceptance with love for yourself and for the journey. When you start to inhabit those emotions towards yourself and give yourself that compassion and that love, that consistency because you deserve it, you show up differently in the world. You show up differently in the things you want to do. Your mindset shifts and the possibilities are endless and limitless for you. If you were to tell me a year ago today, honestly, even months ago, I would say, no way, this is my life. What do you mean I'm freelance creative right now? What do you mean I've been unemployed for, I don't know, almost 4 months? What do you mean? I decided to go fully into uncomfortable positions and grow, and I grew. We underestimate ourselves too often. We can really hold a lot. We're resilient and we're strong. We build that confidence when we continuously show up. Confidence is something that you have to build within yourself. If you want the things in your heart, when you build that love with yourself, your heart starts to trust you again. When you heal, your body starts to communicate with you. When you start to listen to your body's signals, it knows it's safe to fully take up space, and it knows when you're going to be there to protect it, to take care of it. Through consistent action, you're building that trust within your body to be able to access your full self, to not freeze in fear, to stop the patterns of dysfunction when they arise, because those are old wired coping mechanisms inherited from generations of trauma. Trauma lives within the body. When we do the work to heal and sit in the discomfort of healing, letting go of control of what you can't control, it's when you notice your anxieties coming up and you redirect those thoughts and you let them pass. You observe your thoughts. And this is part of mindfulness, is when you can sit in this discomfort, you don't get stuck in negative emotions or negative thoughts because you know that they're going to pass. Confidence is magnetic. You attract everything you seek, everything you're putting energy into through building self-love, compassion, and confidence, and listening to your heart, because that's where your courage lives. Now, my body of work, Unmute, touches all of these. In the first scene, it is a scene of healing and rupture. What it feels like in the body to be in a low place, to try to understand what is coming up to the surface as you do go deeper into yourself, into your intuition and gut, and try to understand your patterns, what needs to be faced, and how to access deeper parts of self to come out the other side. And it's your body trusting you again. It's your intuition guiding you. It's learning how to trust in your flow of life, to surrender. The second edition of this collection is called Playtime. It is a surrendering of control. It's allowing what wants to come out and play. It's an acceptance of yourself as you are, loved as you are. Playtime is something I put together from playful moments of creation when I first started to draw characters and people. It's a book that allows me to exist with my inner child and play. The zine is the inner child and the higher self coexisting, and what that looks and feels like in the body, in the nervous system, when your higher self is advocating for your inner child, and your inner child trusts you, feels safe to play again. And that's how I started creating art, was through all of this inner child healing work, and it's all within us. The zines are there as objects from a larger body of work called Unmute that I've dedicated my life to. My body of work represents reclamation of voice. It represents letting yourself live fully in your expression. My body of work is something that I hope to leave behind for future generations, because I've decided patterns end with me. Understanding why I even have these patterns and building that compassion within myself, I decided intergenerational trauma ends with me. That the line that comes after me is not going to feel unsafe in their body, is not going to live in a survival state, that the inherited expectations are no longer there, that they're free to live and play in this world. They're free, and they can see how much this world has to offer, how beautiful life can be, how fun and amazing when you disconnect from social media expectations outside of you and really connect deeply with what makes you happy. Live in a way that is heart-led. That is who you're becoming every day. That is who we're becoming. I know if you're listening to this, you're on the right path. You're never on the wrong path. You'll always be redirected to what is meant for you. It will never miss you. Believe in yourself. Believe in your abilities. You got this. In order to manifest more, you need to be able to hold more. As in, your nervous system needs to be able to trust you. It's working 24/7 to keep you alive. It's shooting chemicals through your body to have certain reactions, certain emotions. Your emotions trigger your nervous system. So when you are sitting in an uncomfortable emotion, you're teaching your nervous system that you can hold discomfort, that we don't have to run away from it. When I say unmute, I say unmute for yourself and unmute for future generations and for those who couldn't speak. Help everyone find their voice. Nobody has to understand why you do the things you do. Nobody needs to feel how important something is to you. It's about how you feel. When you do the work, when you find your inner voice, and you start to speak from your heart and lead with your courage, just watch what you'll manifest. Watch how one day you'll be waking up in everything that you've ever dreamed of. Every day you are creating your dream reality. As much as there's been uncomfortable emotions and hard emotions come up, I have to say I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. It's a huge thing to feel and to say, because I am. In how I show up for myself, and knowing that I'm always going to be okay because I have myself. It brings me true joy and happiness. I'm grateful that every day is a chance to go for my dreams. There was a point where I would fight myself and fight old patterns, neglect my inner child, because those emotions were too hard to face. The acceptance of things I can't control too hard to face. And since facing my shadow self, my inner child, I've been able to shine my light on my inner child and live in light, while acknowledging that the shadow is always going to be behind me. Part of my healing work was in my relationship to self and food, and trigger warning for eating disorders, but binge eating disorder was a thing inherited from generations of trauma, and as a coping mechanism, learned at a young age. When you notice your patterns and you reflect on what emotions come up when you're feeling these urges to fill a void, to self-soothe and to protect, because as much as you want to think it's in your control, it's old patterns coming. It's your nervous system searching for serotonin and instant dopamine that you get through those satisfying urges. When you teach your body another way to feel that dopamine and serotonin and joy, you rewrite old patterns. And over time, the old patterns will fade. By continuous action, consistency, you create new coping mechanisms that aren't dysfunctional, that don't make you fight with your inner child. And because you notice that, okay, right now I need to give my inner child some compassion, some love. They need to feel seen, because that's them trying to get your attention, saying they're uncomfortable and that they're scared. Through therapy, mindfulness, and yoga, and being able to name things as they come up, because when you separate what is inside to outside, when you look at it as something not inside, when you separate yourself from these characteristics, emotions, habits, you no longer take on that identity. In those moments where you want to fill the void, binge eating is so much more than self-control. It is so much more than how good you are at being around food, and it is not a reflection of your character. It does not make you a good or a bad person for getting back into old patterns. You have to be okay that you are going to fail. There are times where you are going to fall back into old patterns, but when you become conscious and aware to these old patterns and realize they're happening as they're happening, you can ask yourself, how can I show up next time to cut this and redirect it to something more beneficial, something that will fill me and not numb me? These old coping mechanisms, patterns, are ways to numb and self-soothe when the nervous system feels unsafe or like there's a threat. When you are in communication with your nervous system and your nervous system trusts you, it knows that it can feel certain emotions and not need to go back to that old pattern to numb. It knows it can move through the emotion in ways of coping, of movement, of connection, of giving yourself care, for showing up over and over again. Body and your breath, the tools you use every day, machines running in the background of your life. Your body is breathing itself every day. Be present to how magical and amazing you are as a human being, divine creation of source. When you practice mindfulness, you're present for all that is around you. The birds outside, the air on your skin. Be present for the wind, to understand and think and create. So when you're in that dark place, know that you've been planted for your rebirth. Know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You're never going to stay stuck somewhere. You're always just planted. And when you come out the other side, confident and glowing as ever, I hope you take the time to acknowledge how much you've grown, how far you've come, how resilient and amazing you are. I hope you remember to stay present with who you've become, this version of you, to enjoy despite the discomfort that comes along with it. Grow, you have to expand beyond what you've known. It's not that you're not capable, it's that you need to trust yourself. If there's anything you get from the podcast listening today, is that you're so beyond capable, that all your dreams are within reach. So as I prepare for my first art fair, it's been stressful, it's been exciting, it's been a roller coaster of emotions. 3 months ago, I saw the art fair happening and I signed up with just my body of work, and then in that time, I learned how to bind a book. I learned how to create a zine, how to turn my physical art into a body of work, into tangible items somebody is going to hold in their hands and feel. It's my first time ever talking about my art publicly. This is me coming as my full self, showing up and allowing my art to be seen. At first, I told my therapist, I haven't told my friends about it, I'm nervous to tell them. She said, why not? Just let people know what you're doing. Let people share an excitement with you. And here I am, sharing my excitement, talking to friends about it, talking to people in my community, and I'm so grateful for this journey. At first, I was not going to do it. Even though I got in, I was like doubting myself, not thinking I was capable. And here I am a week away from presenting 2 physical zines that I've created. I have my art prints being made into pieces of archival art. It goes to show that you need to experience things in order to build confidence in yourself that you're gonna show up. I am really excited for next weekend. This is the beginning of something. We're always becoming, right? It's a process, it's a journey, and it's a beautiful one. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, a beautiful week ahead. Take care of yourself and water yourself. I will be here every Tuesday. See you next week. Bye.